you.
Nice to meet you.
I don't know what that was.
Wait.
Oh, wait, okay, yeah, let's do this. Yeah.
Nice.
Hey, I'm Nikhil.
I'm Ellie.
Nice to meet you, Ellie. Thanks for coming.
Thanks for having me.
So, basically, premise, we're just talking about what it is to be an artist, I guess.
Love it.
Go.
Oh my gosh, what is it to be an artist? that feeling is what it is to be an artist.
Yeah,
that
it's kind of scary, isn't it?
Yeah.
Honestly, I don't really know anything about your career, so you can lie to me, tell me the truth. What are you feeling?
Oh my gosh.
You feeling honest
pure
today?
Fiction.
Okay.
I'm Beyonce.
Beyonce. Wow, I never knew she was so
short.
Hey, I'm Nikhil. We're here today at Mario's Cafe in Kentish Town, and we're going to chat to some artists about being an artist because I've got a song out about being an artist. Yes. Good.
It's really good.
Okay, so no, have another bite if you like.
Just one more.
So,
I'm with you.
what's the similarity between that bowl of soup and your music career?
It's piping hot.
Hey, that was a good one. Nice one. I would have panicked under the spot there. You did well.
Thank you. I'm a lyricist.
Okay, so I saw you had a single come out recently.
Yeah.
It looked very cool. I like your artistry.
Thank you.
What would you say is your I don't know, what would you say your artistry is? What is that? Because I feel like, I mean, you're talking about fiction earlier.
Yeah.
Yeah, like you like to have fun with your art, don't you?
I love like world building. I think I grew up, I was very much like a YouTube baby growing up, so I followed like a lot of musicians on YouTube, and obviously like YouTube is a very visual medium.
I mean, it is just videos, isn't it?
Literally. So most of the kind of like creators that I consumed had this like visual element along with their music, and so to me, and like I grew up making movies on like iMovie with my sister. Oh really? Okay,
you're one of those people.
Yeah, I was addicted to my little like Lumix.
Do you know what? I feel like, I'm guessing you're an incredible lyricist as well. I haven't like heard a lot of your music, but like I feel like people who like, I will go check it all out after, don't worry. But I feel like people who got great visual minds, it tends to be paired really nicely with cinematography and lyricism. I just feel like, do you know what I mean? I just feel like people who write amazing lyrics have incredible visuals.
It's all like picture painting.
Yeah.
Really. I feel like we've put different like art into different lanes, but that's kind of arbitrary, and we've done that. Whereas like I think generally, if you like one type of art, you're probably going to have a bunch of other types of art that you like.
Yeah. I mean, I think that's just part of just being human, isn't it?
Yeah,
just like, it's just the experience of being an artist is not being inspired by just one thing. Like, I don't know about you, but do you necessarily listen to the genre of music that you make?
Sort of, yeah. I mean, like, I make alt pop, and I listen to a lot of alt pop.
Okay, but do you listen to it purely for, I mean, of course you enjoy it, whatever, and that's just your vibe, but then sometimes you're listening for research purposes.
Yeah, it's exhausting. I'm listening to an album, like, taking notes, and relax.
But then that's the thing, I feel like the music that I completely just experience is because it's nothing like mine.
Yeah, no, I completely agree. My
like,
favourite stuff to switch off to is, like, folk. I listen to a lot of like tavern ambience.
I don't know what the fuck that is, but
you know, like a medieval tavern. I
mean, I was thinking Shrek when you said that.
No, completely. Yeah, literally. Nice. Like, but imagine Shrek isn't there, and they're like.
Shrek isn't there.
Imagine Shrek isn't there, and it's like between takes.
Oh, okay, yeah.
So you're just sat.
So
in
it's like like the scene in the pub, but like before anyone's there.
Yeah,
and there's just all of them just chilling, like with the elves and shit.
Yeah. That's my dream.
Yeah, fair enough. Would you ever write a score for Shrek?
Yeah.
100%. Incredible, wouldn't it?
Shrek 5's coming out, so.
Is it? Guest feature.
Can you imagine? I actually just like scored the whole movie.
Wow, that'd be incredible.
I'd love that.
Yeah.
That'd be great.
You're giving kind of like medieval vibes anyway. I think it's probably the colour at the top.
And the tabard.
Yeah.
Yeah, well,
interesting.
It's my next. This new project that I'm in now.
Yeah, I mean, I saw it. Yeah,
that
the sword and all of that.
Yeah.
Come on. Have you ever tried fencing?
No, I haven't. My sister has.
Really?
So I don't fight with her.
You don't fight with her just in case she pulls out a sword. I mean, I feel like fencing, because it generally seems like quite like a, a very well mannered sport.
Yeah, there's a lot of rules. It's not, you wouldn't like actually, if you want to fight
you wouldn't just stab someone.
No, well also you can't, it's a little bendy like.
Really? Oh wait, does it go in when you, is it one of them ones like where it goes in if you hit into someone?
No, it's just like floppy. It doesn't do anything.
So I feel like we've lost track, haven't we?
Slight tangent.
Intermission.
Soup break. So the next project's all, it's kind of, it's like a mishmash of different like historical eras and fantasy genres, but it's like a bit medieval, a little bit Renaissance, a little bit like Lord of the Rings, basically.
That's cool. Is that just because you just love tavern folk? Was that what it was? No.
Okay, it was like,
cool.
No, you were right. It was like, I think it was a bunch of different things. I was watching a lot of Lord of the Rings at the time. A lot of Shrek. Yeah. But I love listening to folk music, and I really like the drama of like Renaissance paintings, and so my last single is called Renaissance, and it's about my label dropping me. And it was kind of inspired by, so fun.
Can I ask you why?
Why
they dropped you?
Is that just upper management? They just basically higher up just decided to cull a bunch of artists to save money.
Oh, interesting.
So it was kind of,
you didn't make the cut for what they wanted to invest in.
Yeah, well, when
so that sounded a lot ruder than it was supposed to be.
No, it's true though. It's true.
But it is that fucking rude, isn't it?
No, exactly. It was just like,
I give my whole like heart and soul to this. Everything I do. You don't like it? Oh, okay. Well, I guess I'll go cry in a hole then.
Yeah, I did. I did that. I found a hole and I cried for a while.
I can imagine. I mean, it's interesting because it becomes that moment in our movie where we're like, this is gonna make or break me.
Yeah, exactly.
Then you came back with a sword.
Yeah, but like when I found out, I came back with violence. No, I basically when I was writing the intro of the song, it was kind of the first bit I wrote of the song, it says, took a sword to the chest, bled out on my double bed. And basically it was the image of when I found out they dropped me. I was sat in bed, I got a call from my manager, and I just like doubled over basically, and it just that image of just like that moment of shock and just like horror felt so dramatic. I think our feelings can just feel so all-consuming in a moment, and so it felt like a Renaissance painting of someone that's just been stabbed.
No, I can imagine. That's really incredible that you put it into that, like, you know, I feel like it's a beautiful way to express what you were feeling. But also, I mean, on a personal level, I feel like, have you looked back now and been like, yeah, damn, I guess partly why you felt all of that is because being signed probably felt like, cool, that's it, I've made it.
Oh yeah.
And then for it to be taken away is like, oh, I guess I haven't made it.
Yeah. So, I mean, that was what I found surprising about being signed in general was...
It's not what they make it out to be, is it?
No, and also there isn't like an end point to anything. And there feels, when you're sort of...
I'm saying this like I've been signed. I've never been signed.
No, you don't need to be.
No, I mean, for me personally, I think when you look at your career for what it is, a business, a career, and whatever. Of course, you as an artist is one thing, but in terms of how you run your business, like working with a major, they're an investor into your company, so they either become a partner, they own a certain amount of shares, and do you know what I mean? If you look at it from that perspective, there's numbers. If they're satisfied, then they keep investing into that, and they're getting their return on it. Otherwise, they're not. It's like, from that perspective, the relationship is set up in a very clear way. When you come into it as, for a lot of young, I don't want to say you were naive, but like just for a lot of young artists who I meet who are kind of a bit naive about it, and it's like, this is my life, I want to be a famous, do you know what I mean? And then, oh, it's so sad.
I think it is also hard when you're supposed to hold both like the business and this like pure creation and love for art at the same time, because I think it's a really helpful tool to be able to see it as a business, but at the same time, if you see it purely as business, you're not putting your heart into it, you're not making something that really means something. You
have to be able to separate the two. I think it's why it's important to either accept you're either like that and great. And if you're not like that, you need to get a good manager who can be like that for you and who can then run that stuff on your behalf. Like that, you know, it's about understanding to learn how to run your own personal little shop.
Yeah,
do you know
literally.
what I mean?
But I think the thing that I found really like surprising about being signed was that I think when there's this like goal that a lot of people have, like being signed, when you achieve that, you don't necessarily think past that. It's sort of like, it feels like a checkpoint.
Yeah.
And then
because you think that's your job now, you're good.
Yeah.
Yeah, you feel secure in it.
Yeah, and like, but even when I got signed, I was like, oh, I have to keep going now. You know what I mean? Like you sort of, you rest for a minute and you're like, oh, did that. Oh, it just keeps going.
Well, sometimes I just don't want to fucking do it.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
It's just that simple.
It is.
So, do you ever get the point when like I'm so burnt out I can't even listen to music?
Yes. Yeah.
I just
because
sit in silence.
Because you start like, you just sat there like.
I probably look like I'm ready to kill someone.
That's why I have the sword.
Yeah.
No, I have it all the time. I go through cycles where I like input loads of new music, and then times where I can't listen to anything new because it feels like work, and I have like my safety albums that are like comfort that don't feel like work. Yeah,
no, for real. I mean, the ones that I know I can go back to, and it's this. You know when you think of like, I remember my parents just be like, "Why are you still listening to the same songs that were made in the 80s?" And now I get it. I'm like, oh, I'm gonna keep going back to you know, to my first album that I bought or whatever, like the first things I used to love, because they're reliable. They're there for me, and I don't have to think about, oh, I need to try something new. I can just go and listen to it and get everything I need to feel, and then get on with my day.
Yeah, it's like going to the same restaurant because there's the food you know you like. Yeah,
or go back to the same ex. That was a joke. I'm happily in a relationship. That was just a joke. Do you know what? I remember when I was a teenager and I made something that I thought was hilarious, and I remember like showing my family and they were like, "This isn't funny," and I was like, "Oh." But I think also what one of my uncles was like, "Who is this joke for?" And they very much had this thing of like, you're trying to get people to laugh at you. But like for me, I love comedy. I love stand-up comedy. I think the genius behind certain ways of writing and whatever, I think it's beautiful. I don't mind being necessarily the joke, like for the context that it's in, if it makes sense and if it's funny, it's done in a clever way. Do you know what I mean? Like, I'm okay with that. But I think ever since getting told that, oh, like, you know, your music is serious, like people aren't supposed to, and then you're like, why do you want people to laugh at you type thing? So it really put me off. I used to think, oh, well, I need to be serious. And it really just threw me. And not until recently have I accepted that I like making people laugh. I don't give a fuck if people are if laughing at me or if they're laughing with me. I don't care. If you're having fun, great. Do you know what I mean?
No, literally. I think taking your project too seriously or any art too seriously kind of ruins it because you overthink it. I love like fun in music is so important.
Yeah, why not?
It's like everything.
I actually think a lot of my favorite artists, the thing that makes them so lovable, a lot of the time is because they're hilarious. Even like, do you know what? Sabrina Carpenter, I was listening to her album recently, like,
it's so funny.
and I've been obsessed with it. I'm like, I think her lyricism in it is beautiful and genius, like, because it's actually so funny. Like, do you know what I mean? I think of like,
it's not serious.
Yeah, like Tyler the Creator, one of my favorite artists. He's hilarious. Yeah. Do you know what I mean? It's like all these people, they are so funny. Yeah, I think don't take yourself too seriously. Yeah. No one likes a serious person.
Yeah, one of my favorite artists is Doja Cat for that.
Oh yeah,
she's so funny.
Again, I mean, she just doesn't give a fuck.
She does not. And I love it in marketing as well. Yeah. Because like,
for real,
being an artist is not just about like making your music, it's about presenting it to the world. And like, I think a lot of artists really take so much joy in the music making, but not necessarily in the presenting. Yeah. And like that bit you can have so much fun with. 100%,
I agree. I think that's where it becomes more than just marketing. It's like, it's just so, you are just enjoying the whole process of everything. Yeah. Well, lovely to meet you.
Yeah, great to meet you.
Cool.
Thanks for having me.